So, if you're an Xbox fan, I'm happy for you. It's probably one of those things where games within the ecosystem, or I guess I'll say platform, that you enjoy are more than likely coming out very soon and are going to appeal to you. Hopefully, 2025 sees that all pan out. I saw a comment, and I say the reason I say I'm happy for you also is because, I'm a superhero games fan. And, as of next year, we don't know if anything is coming out for us. To me, it doesn't matter whether it's going to be on PlayStation or Xbox or PC. If there's a superhero game somewhere, I'll go play it. I hope I like it and it doesn't give me, the same challenges that Marvel Spider-Man 2 gave me. But again, you understand what I mean. Now, this audience member left a comment on the channel. They said, according to YouTuber Dirt Griggity WG Podcast, shout out to Dirt Griggity. They, he subscribed to the Video Game Fight School channel, so shout out to you, sir. He says that Xbox has got 8 games slated for next year: Outer Worlds 2, Fable, Gears of War E-Day, Oblivion Remake, Avowed, Black Ops 7, or whatever the Call of Duty game is, South of Midnight, Doom Dark Ages. We'll have to see if that bears into reality, but if this is the case, or even 75% correct, I think the haters will have no choice but to demand more from Sony. Now, here's my stance on this. These games that were mentioned, whichever ones are going to be coming out, we're not certain about most of them. We do see some, in a sense, inklings as to some of the games, like, the game set in the Bayou or even Avowed. Avowed already has a release date set in stone. So we do have those particular aspects in the conversation. We already know that these are the games that are going to be coming out. Gears of War E-Day, Doom, Dark Ages, likely. But even if this list of 8 games, only 50% panned out, I think it really will put into question what PlayStation has been doing with a lot of its first-party studios in a while. Ghost of Yotei is an anthology. That one, a lot of us are looking forward to. Those of you who played Ghost of Tsushima, you're probably looking forward to seeing how that story unfolds. I know the game has been mired in controversy, but it's always okay to at least let people review the game, let people talk about the game, and then you can see if you want to make up your mind as to the elements in the game that are coming out. I've always argued from the perspective, and as somebody who, basically has played on the PlayStation platform on console more than anything else, why PlayStation did not invest a lot of the money that it was using to money hack games into its own first and even second party studios, into more of those. Rather, a lot of these games have just become time exclusives that they've been paying for. And I think the reality is starting to set in. Truly, if we go ahead and pay very close attention to what's been going on, you will see that in terms of content, Xbox really has themselves positioned and they have a clear roadmap. Let me not say clear roadmap, clearer in a sense that what PlayStation is doing. Because if I say clear roadmap, that is not fair, because I don't have release dates for a lot of the Xbox games that they've announced and a lot of the games that they've basically promised. So again, this is definitely something that we basically have to go ahead and take into account. Now, it's very interesting nonetheless, though, that this content reality is now coming together. I don't know if many of you have noticed, there's been a shift that's already happened in this last month as we're counting down the year getting ready to be over. 2 of them are very significant. One of them is YouTuber Dreamcast Guy opening his mouth to say that he is somewhat excited about what Xbox is doing. Now, I saw that clip on someone else's channel. It was on another YouTuber named GameStuff's channel. And when I saw that, I was very shocked. In fact, I closed the video, and I just walked away because I could not believe what my ears were hearing. I think a pivot is about to happen very soon. Why? Gamers, at the end of the day, even though we may argue, even though we may point out statistics and data, the reality is we're actually more interested in games and who's going to deliver those games to us at the end of the day. This is why I've always kind of been in a little, I would say, I've been slightly dissatisfied with PlayStation approaching its business in that regard. It's taken a lot of its funding, it's taken a lot of its, resources, and basically giving those resources to third-party developers to make their games and put it on their platforms as exclusive. It could be it was a percentage share. Maybe for a game like Final Fantasy 16 and 7 Rebirth, maybe they didn't spend a dime. Maybe they said, hey man, we're going to give you, a big discount for your 30% share. Maybe we'll say we'll only take 10% for 6 months, or we'll only take 5% for, 2 years or 3 years. But these games never really panned out. And in some cases, they probably put money towards those projects. And on putting money to those projects, we didn't necessarily see what I thought was a big benefit other than these games and these projects eventually mostly signaling that they either want to go to Xbox or they're already on Xbox. Look at Kojima's game, Death Stranding. It's already on Xbox. There's going to be Death Stranding 2. And so what that says is if Death Stranding 2 is going to follow suit as Death Stranding 1, it may end up again on Xbox in 5 years. If you look at the Final Fantasy producers, Final Fantasy 16's producer said he wants to bring his game to Xbox. Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth's producer said that he is an Xbox fan and he's got an Xbox, signaling to the Xbox community that they're looking to basically bring their games over. Crimson Desert's developer, according to their own meeting with their shareholders, mentioned that they turned down PlayStation for a third-party exclusive deal. That money that they were going to use to go ahead and lock down Crimson Desert, what is that funding doing right now? Is that funding being used wisely to actually produce more games within the PlayStation ecosystem? I'm not selling my PlayStation. I'm still going to keep my PlayStation. Why? Because there are PlayStation games that I would like to play if they're actually good games. I am not interested in, sitting and console warring as a PC gamer. If a game is on a platform and I actually want to play the game, I want to play the game. Now, I may delay, sure. I may double dip, sure. But it still begs the question that if you're going to be looking at a platform for its unique proposition, PlayStation is one that we need to ask questions. And I've been demanding more, even, far back as a year ago. I think now if people want to start demanding more, great, but they have to admit that they're kind of late to the party in terms of what they've been demanding from PlayStation all this while. And I strongly believe right now, ladies and gentlemen, just with the whole Game Pass strategy alone, that already calls into question what's going on in the PlayStation camp. Now, am I concerned? Am I worried? No, I'm not. Like I said, again, having kind of put myself in the PC ecosystem, I couldn't be bothered if these two, juggernauts beat themselves into the ground, because I know that as a consumer, I'm the benefactor of all of the, pretty much the great things that are going to come from both ecosystems. So looking forward to these games, nonetheless, some of them on the list, like South of Midnight. I think that one seems like it's much closer than even many of these other games. Outer Worlds 2 is the one that's a little bit more fantastical to me. However, if the first one came out all the way back in 2019, by 2025, that's going to be about 6-ish years. So I won't be surprised. But what's kind of also interesting is the fact that they're making another RPG that's launching before that one. Yes, it's also already mired in controversy. The Oblivion remake. This is the one that's interesting. I'm not an Elder Scrolls person. Never played an Elder Scrolls game. Don't beat me. Again, like I said, I'm a superhero games guy, fighting games guy. Many of you probably didn't even think about that. Why I named the channel the Video Game Fight School channel. And some of you were like, oh, he doesn't even post fighting game videos. I've been posting some at midnights. I hope you've been watching them. I titled them Cooking. It's my W's. I'm not going to post too many L's out here because, again, that's how we do it. You want to, put yourself in a good light. And, I welcome anybody who would love to play me in the fighting games that I concentrate on to, shout out at me. I play Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter 6, MK1, Street Fighter 6. I also play MK11. If you want to hop on in, if you want to play some, do some Gotham Knights combat challenges, hey, I'll be down with that. That's kind of my forte. So seeing these games and seeing them basically lined up, it's interesting because I'm looking for one of these games that will capture my attention, to be very honest. Elden Ring was the one game that broke me into pieces. It broke me out of my comfort zone, and I really enjoyed that experience. But since then, it's been really hard. I still find myself going back to the games that I play. Well, again, those games require mastery and a lot of time. I got a whole roster of characters. I've only learned 4 characters in all of MK1's roster. And that's how it is. You can't learn too many. Some people are faster at learning characters. I pick a character and I sit there. Kung Lao was number 1. Then I moved to Li Mei. I think Baraka was the first character I learned, but he was OP with Striker at the onset of the game. So I put him down because when a character is OP like that, they're going to nerf something. And they did nerf Striker a little bit. And, they didn't touch Baraka too much. But I picked Baraka up, picked up Sub-Zero. So I got, that's 4? Kung Lao, Sub-Zero, Baraka, Li Mei, and I picked up Reiko. That's 5. Whoa, that's actually big. That's actually a lot more progress than any other game. I picked up Takeda for a little bit, but he was missing something, and I think I probably needed to go ahead and learn a little bit more. But like I said, it's still exciting to see what Xbox fans are going to be enjoying. I'm happy for them. And if there's a game that's part of their mix that I'm interested in, I will be very happy to hop on in and also, play those games. And maybe those games, one of them can break me out of my, little bubble over here of these fighters that I'm always playing. And, I'll be able to play a few more games. So 2025 is looking really interesting. Now, I think PlayStation is also going to find a way to pretty much, make a bounce back, do something very interesting. But the question is, we on the other side of the conversation are looking at what are they gonna do. I like their Ghost of Tsushima game. I like their Spider-Man games if they do it right. I did not like Spider-Man 2, but Miles in 2018, man, those are up there in my top favorite games ever. I like their God of War games when they do it well. Oh my goodness, they did the Ragnarok thing and it was like kind of weird, but it's all right. It is still Kratos at the end of the day. So I'm looking at their studios and I'm wondering, yes, it's going to take a while, but I wish they had anthologies that took just a short period of time to make. I mean, look, it's 2 years past the Ragnarok and we're not going to hear anything for another few years. I wish there was an anthology that came out just like Miles Morales did for Spider-Man. And, but Yote is doing it. So big ups for them. Shout out to them for actually taking into account that possibility. Okay. Talk to me in the comment section. I really appreciate you guys' time and audience, and hopefully we'll talk pretty soon in another one. Peace out.